Welcome to the WOCNCB Certification Inspiration Podcast. My name is Lisa Obradovic, Marketing Manager for WOCNCB. In this episode, we are highlighting our 2022 Employer Recognition Award winner, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Los Angeles. This award is given annually to honor an organization that has demonstrated support of the WOCNCB certification process. Today we are joined by 4 individuals from Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Los Angeles. Anita Girard, Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Nursing, Patricia Hain, Executive Director of Nursing, Azor-Ocampo, a Certified Wound Ostomy Continence Nurse, and Mathew, Monterola, Associate Director of Clinical Support Programs. Also joining us are members of the WOCNCB Award Committee. They reviewed all the nominations and will be interviewing the award winners, Alex Aningalan, Sarah Urslev, and Holly Hovan. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Sarah, I'll let you get the conversation started.
Thanks, Lisa. My first question is directed to any of you who were part of the evolution process at Cedars-Sinai for the WOC program there. I'm just curious how the program got started at your organization, what the growth process looked like.
Hi, this is Peachy Hain. I think that would be me because I've been at Cedars-Sinai the longest. Everybody else are babies compared to me. So I will tell you that, the many years before I took oversight of the WOCN program, we called them enterostomal therapy nurses, and we had only 2 for the whole building, and everybody used these 2 ET nurses, and they weren't really that popular. A couple of colorectal surgeons used them. I myself, I'm in a surgical floor. I knew them, but I really did not know the magnitude of their contributions to nursing and physicians and healthcare in general. I really did not know. We did not really collect data on the number of wounds or pressure ulcers or skin imperfections when patients came into the hospital. They were under nursing education at the time, but we've had a lot of changes in nursing education through the years until November of 2019, I believe, when the last executive director retired, and I took oversight of the WOCN program. And I tell you, I was a newbie. They had to educate me. I took a crash course. So historically, we had ET nurses and enterostomal therapy nurses, but it wasn't really a robust program like we have today. They came in and checked pressure ulcers, the ostomy patients, and discuss the plan of care with physicians and outpatient home health nurses. We did not have an outpatient clinic, and we still don't have a formalized outpatient program right now, but we're working on it. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of along those lines, what does your organization do to promote WOC nurses or recruit more nurses to the specialty?
Well, what we've done since Matt and I took over the program, we had a lot of almost marketed our WOCNs. They themselves had created a very robust program where champions were identified in the units. They've educated many staff. I think these are formal education I'm talking about. 4 hours of theoretical and skills lab for our nurses. To date, I think it's over 1,100 nurses that they've recruited. Matt, do you have a follow-up to that?
Yes, in terms of promoting the WOC nurses, a lot of times they're part of the meeting of the different division, with an MD-RN collaboration, unit meeting, divisional meeting. that's how we market them. We promoted them. Not just we promoted them, but because they come up with a program that actually touches our ND and QI scores, which is the happy. You know, it's a household name. You know, I think since 2019 they've been known as a good team, I would say. And in terms of recruitment, we actually have what we call a pipeline. You know, we have this pop star, and then we see some nurses aspiring to be a wound care nurse. So we developed them. Actually, two of our team members are built from the pipeline. They were from the floor. We showed that their enthusiasm in this kind of track. So we actually provided education, training, and whatnot. Long and behold, they are part of our WOCN. And also, we look for people from the outside because we want to bring some ideas, what's being done, you know, not just within the organization, but what is being done. And I think Annie can attest to that. So Annie and Paula are our external candidate, I would say. So in terms of recruitment, we look on a mix, you know, not solely, you know, internal, but we look on both. So,
and I also think it's very important that they model the way. So the WOCN team, Annie's just a pure example of it. She holds herself to the highest professional standards. She models the way, and she's made the job look attractive. The entire team is now a team. And because of that, people want to be part of that team. So I think, you know, recruitment is always about the team that you're recruiting to. And this team has done a great job of really becoming professional experts in their field.
Nice. So you as leaders, Peachy and Mathew, and maybe you too, Anita, I'm curious what the relationship between you and your WOC nurses is like. It sounds like you've educated yourselves and you really know what's going on with the team and kind of maybe the challenges they face. I'm just kind of curious about the development of those relationships.
Anita, you want to start that and we'll follow?
Yeah, I think, you know, in 2019, I came early in 2020, and we just all wanted to embrace reducing pressure ulcers and pressure injuries. And so we gathered every Friday. We reviewed the data, we gathered with the team. We just continuously looked for, you know, did a full assessment on current state, where we're at and where we want to go, and then strategically planned with a team of, again, brilliant professional WOCN nurses who knew what they needed, but hadn't been perhaps given the appropriate technology, funding, and the other things that they wanted. And so once we looked at the data, it was clear that we needed some serious help. And we had these beautiful external experts in Annie and Paula who had come from other organizations and had seen different things and were able to take us on that journey. So that's my take on it is, you know, just really that meeting every week and then going out to lunch and just getting to know the team because they're so critical. That I tell them they go everywhere in the hospital, everywhere. They know everyone. You know, what comes out of their mouth is heard and listened to by everyone. The whole team, the whole hospital always knows. If you want to know something, ask a WOCN.
And on one of the experiences we had during COVID was that this team was really very focused on helping our patients and our organization, you know, with the you know, lessening the impact of COVID through pressure injuries. And Annie and the team reached out to other organizations, and whatever they learned, they brought it to us. We made sure that we were able to get them at the same table as our intensivists, our intensive care unit physicians who listened to them, and thus created the acute skin failure. And we involved our finance department to come up with an LCD billing and coding. It was an amazing experience and really a village working with our WOCNs. To me, that really showed that everybody was looking to our WOCNs for you know, ways to lessen the impact of the COVID effects on our patients. So they're superstars. I can tell you that.
It's Holly. I have a few more questions for you. So you won the Employer Award last year, and this is a huge honor. So what advice would you give to another facility or nurse who is considering nominating their employer? And then who helped you to write your nomination, and where did you get that information from?
So I guess that question is for me. So this is Azor-Ocampo. So I'm very much aware of this award since I have WOC nurse colleagues who submitted their nominations in the past. And the type of support that our team has received, especially when we started to establish the hospital-acquired pressure injury prevention task force, which was led by our CNO, Anita, Girard, and Peachy, and Mathew. And its initiative has provided a foundation for us to write a nomination letter. And the inspiration came from the fact that in spite of the challenges, especially when the pandemic came to affect all of our lives in so many ways, our team was still able to achieve these goals. So I was the one who started to initiate and drafted a 2-page nomination letter. And most of the content came from the A3 that the Happy Prevention Task Force has created at the beginning when we started meeting with Anita and the nursing leaders every week. So the A3 is a simple 1-page format, problem-solving methodology that is based on lean principles, where we have our goals and plan of actions listed in there. So our team reviewed the A3 and realized that we were able to accomplish, achieve, and surpass our goals even before the end of the fiscal year. So we're very proud of that as a team. Plus, we have a list of all the events that our team is being recognized and celebrated here at Cedars. As a matter of fact, I have the poster right here. Peachy and Mathew created like a 4x3 poster board, and they all listed our achievements for the fiscal year. And I'm like looking at this, I'm still in awe. Like for that fiscal year alone, we were able to achieve and reduce our hospital-acquired pressure injury rate by 65% from where we started. And we still continue to reduce our PR rates even like really low up to the coming year. So when we review again our happy rates at the end of the fiscal year, it would be really, really low. I guess we'll be able to achieve 0 PI rate in our dream world. It will come soon, anytime soon. So, and when I was drafting the letter, the nomination letter, I remember sitting at my desk and I was a little bit teary-eyed. And most of my team members knew this because I came out of our office and were like, why am I crying? Because I'm so emotionally happy to realize that I belong to an amazing team and we have amazing, great and nursing leaders who are incredibly supportive of what we do as WOC nurses, so we can further take part in providing cares for our patients. So the entire WC nursing team contributed in writing the nomination letter, and we notified our associate director, Mathew, that we're submitting the nomination, and then we went to surprise our leaders in Cedars that, yes, we're submitting the nomination as the Employer Award for 2022. So my advice to those who are aspiring to nominate the respective organization is to make sure that you have a list of all the projects that you're currently working and have completed, including the accomplishments of each WOCNCB certified nurse. And best of all, you have to recognize how your organization has provided support in any way to maintain your success in all of your endeavors as a tri-specialty certified nurse.
Since winning the award, have you done anything further to promote the items that you highlighted in your nomination?
Hi, if I can, respond to that, and I'm sure Anita will. It is really critical to have a leader who has a vision and who knows that the way to get to your goals is through your frontline staff. And all these accomplishments, we are in awe ourselves for the accomplishments that have made, and we know that it's our WOCN nurses, their knowledge, their quest for reducing pressure ulcers and wounds and making sure that our ostomy patients get the best of care that got us to our outcomes, which is just phenomenal. And Anita makes sure that different departments in the organization hear about it. Just about 2 weeks ago, Anita and myself and Matt presented at our high value care committee this task force, its goals and the outcomes, and which is just so incredible. And the use of technology the WOCNs informed us that there's technology out there that can help us, like determine the presence of pressure injuries or, preventing pressure injuries. So you cannot help but promote this team to the entire organization and beyond.
Yeah,
Anita?
For our PSI 90s for CMS, pressure injuries is one of the heaviest ranked indicators that's utilized for your scoring, for your reimbursement purposes. And, we were asked, because they saw such incredible work, we were able to improve the hospital's PSI 90 ranking with CMS. And we were asked to come to a very high level meeting to be able to demonstrate the work that has been achieved. So it achieved great notice in the whole organization. Our president, CEO, the entire C-suite is just in awe of the work that our WOCNs have been able to create. And again, just needed somebody to open the door and find some budget. And that's what I'm good at. So
Yay!
together we're, give me an idea. We're all huge innovators and love innovation and improving the patient care, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal. It's great that we reduce pressure. Yeah, that's patient care. That's an injury that happened to a patient. So yeah, we promoted it in our nursing annual report, the award. We also promoted it in our Bridge newsletter that goes out to our entire community of Cedars-Sinai and our 22,000 employees. So it's been widely broadcast, the award itself. And I keep the poster, Lisa, I think you gave me that. I keep the poster in my office. So everybody who comes in my office says, what's this? And I'm like, oh, my WOCN team, they're so amazing. And I tell the whole story. So the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce has seen it. The Los Angeles YMCA women have seen it. So it's great.
And I may put a little meat on the bone, just to quantify the success. We were able to have a risk aversion of almost 3 million and generated 1.6 million with a happy task force. So, with the leadership support and just throwing it out to those who listen to us, who's listening to us, there's just a monetary component to what we are doing.
Yeah, and really making that return on investment, how much WOCNs impact the bottom line. So patient experience, patient safety, and then the financial bottom line for the organization. So came in and we had just like 4 or 5, and I can't even remember how many WOCNs we started out with. And I said, you're a 1,000-bed organization. You need, the benchmark is like 100 to 1. How are you even possibly functioning? So we've continuously also grown the team, which has been, as we all know, that's the number one thing too. You can't be overburdened by the time commitment with your patients. You have to have that appropriate number of staff and the brilliant ones like Annie.
Thank you. So it's clear from leadership to bedside nursing that WOCNCB is really supported in your organization, and it's great to hear those accomplishments. And I've heard a lot of words from everyone to describe your team, but I just wanted to ask if you could describe your WOCNCB team of nurses in one word. What would that be?
Sure, I'll take the liberty of answering this because I'm the one who's always in between my bosses, and the team. So I don't know if this is a one word though, but it's just like a dream team. I mean, it's a 2 word. I'm sorry, I can think of one. It's like a dream team. Anita is our head coach. Peachy is the assistant coach, and I am the conditioning of the team. So what I'm saying is that there are 5 of them. I know who plays the center, the power forward, and the 2 guard. It meant that I know their strengths and weaknesses, and I know who to tap, and then we put it together. It's just like a well-oiled machine. So that's how we look at it.
But my one word I've used already, and I would say brilliant, because brilliant incorporates innovation and high professional performance. So they're just brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. So I will turn it over to Alex for some final questions.
Thank you, Holly. Again, this is Alex Aningalan. Before I started my questions, I just want to say that from one WOCNCB certified nurse to another, I am just in awe listening at everything that you told us. No doubt you deserved that award last year. I'm trying to look for words, but I can say like from senior leadership, frontline leadership, and the whole WOCNCB team, we can just see that the whole institution is in full support of the WOC nurses. That is, I must say, best practice. That must be, I think, patterned by similar organizations across all healthcare settings. So thank you for what you do to the WOC team, and congratulations to the WOCNCB certified nurses at Cedars-Sinai. Well-deserved award. I'm going to be posing my questions to a specific person, but I see that you are a team, you are a dream team. So anyone who feels like they can add more to the answers, please feel free to just chime in. My first question would be to Annie. What inspired you to pursue a WOCNCB certification and being a tri-specialty certified CWOCN?
Of course, we all know I have been inspired to pursue my WOCNCB certification because it is the gold standard of wound ostomy and continence nursing certification. There is no other way I will get my certification but through WOCNCB. So going back years ago, it is because of this particular patient that I became inspired to become a WOC nurse. So while working in a skilled nursing facility in one of my morning rounds as a charge nurse, I had seen this patient standing next to her bathroom sink, and she was trying to rinse her ostomy bag. So I couldn't okay, how do I help this specific resident? And so I have to help her. And so I went in and we both did our best figuring out how to apply her pouch and her wafer together. And then it was like excruciating 30 to 45 minutes just to do it ourselves. And then that resident was very thankful that I came in and helped her apply a new ostomy appliance. After that specific encounter with this resident, I have decided that I wanted to become a WOC nurse. And then when I moved on to another hospital, my background in program management and combined LTAC and acute rehab setting, where I have encountered so many patients with pressure injuries, full thickness, atypical wounds, you name it, patients requiring ostomies prior to flap surgeries, and patients with incontinence issues. They became my main motivation to pursue my quest to become a WOC nurse. And this was where my passion continued to be ignited to obtain my WOC nursing certification. And the rest is what they say is history. So here I am today, presenting to you why we became the 2022 WOCNCB Employer Award for Cedars-Sinai.
Thank you, Annie. That's such an inspiring story. Thank you for sharing your story, and hope it inspires future nurses to pursue the same certification that we did. I'm going to direct my next question to Peachy, but if Mathew or Anita would want to chime in as well. The question would be, how can organizations and employers best support the value of WOCNCB certified nurses?
Okay, so just to give you a little story here, Anita already said that, we only have 5 WOCN in the inpatient unit, and we have a small outpatient clinic. And the evidence out there is that you need at least 1 for every 100 patients. And it already tells you that WOCN nurses are very few and far between across the US and probably across the world. It is a specialty that very, very few nurses will take. I myself, I cannot look at pressure injuries and ostomies every single day, every single hour. I think it takes some kind of compassion, a real compassion and caring for this population of patients who are very vulnerable. So when we go out there, I have the surgical services. We make sure that our champions, our wound champions, really feel that they're cared for, and that we recognize all their efforts, because we don't have a lot of nurses who want to be champions of and wound and ostomy. So last year, or I mentioned this earlier, 2 years ago, we brought all of our nurses to a 4-hour class, and that was very difficult, especially because the pandemic hit. But Anita knows that we need to do this, and she has been Matt said, the head coach, but she leaves it to the experts to determine what needs to happen in order to get the value out of these classes and task force and whatever projects we're working on. And this way we can also let our staff know that, hey, there is a specialty out there that might be good to engage in. So the pop stars really get a lot of recognition.
Yeah,
Matt or Anita?
I think another thing that was really important is to, we consolidated all of our smaller service teams, because the WOCNs can be a small team sometimes and often forgotten. And so making sure you get them out there in front of everyone I have a weekly meeting with my nursing staff. And so they're always on the agenda showing what the work that they've done, or in any of the quality meetings, showing the work they've done. So I feel like part of my responsibility is to make sure they get airtime in the appropriate meetings so that their positions are justified. I've never been asked to cut the WCNs. We've only built the team, and you have to show the data, right? You have to show why does it matter. Look at what they're saving. Look at what they're doing for, again, our patient experience and our patient safety, and for even the support of the nursing staff and educating everybody to that higher level of care, so that when they're not there, that people still know how to continue the work. So I think it's really important to just really show the data, show them, get them out there. That's the advice I'd give to anybody who is leading a team of WOCNs, is to really get them out there and show their worth and their work, which is really important.
Yeah. In addition, these 2 internal candidates that ended up being a member of our 2 members of our team, when they expressed that they were very interested, we worked on it. Matt and I went to Anita, look, what can we pay for their education? Can we pay for their training on site? And Anita recognizes that, this is a very, very special population of nurses. They just don't grow on trees. It's very difficult to get nurses to get interested in the WOCN. And she approved this. That really helped. And they got a lot of assistance in trying to get their certification, and they were reimbursed for their review courses that they took, and the certification itself.
But the whole team did such a great job, a very innovative model of, really growing your own. And they came up with the whole model of innovation to just say, we're going to find the people that have the skill set and competency and help them develop an interest, right? It's such a specialty skill. You have to be passionately interested in it, as we've heard. And they had then found people who were passionately interested in. So we brought, Peachy or Annie, we brought them on for like a half a year ahead of time, right? Where they were kind of doing a dual role. A very innovative program to recruit WOCNs.
Thank you for those answers. They're really amazing answers. And I especially liked how Anita mentioned worth and work, recognition of the WOCN's worth and work. I think that means a lot for WOCNs like us. My next question might have been answered previously, but perhaps you can just wrap up what we have been talking about. I'm directing it to Anita, but then again, anyone from the team can answer. How are WOCNCB certified nurses impacting organizational and patient care outcomes?
Yeah, as I think you've already heard, Alex, there's been, complete reduction in pressure injuries. We've been able to recruit staff. They've improved the CMS PSI 90 work for CMS reimbursement rankings. And they just, again, they work to the top of their practice, right? I think that's what's so valuable, is seeing nurses have protocolized order sets, able to initiate consults, that's building that trust with that. So you have that transfer of trust with your nursing team, but even more importantly with their physician teams. Their physician colleagues rely on them heavily for their expertise. And, it comes down to their pressure injuries, as they should be, are reportable to the state. And that's they're a frontline defense against that from an organizational perspective, but most importantly from the human caring perspective for the patient, that, you know, every pressure ulcer you reduce is a patient who gets to go home and not have to deal with that, you know, or every, you know, ostomy that you take care of appropriately is another wonderful thing that the patient who could be a colitis younger patient doesn't have to deal with. And they're just so supportive on every level. Did that answer your question, Alex?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
I'd like to add something to that, Alex. And this is at the frontline level. So we just don't want our WOCNs to be called, okay, you do the wound vac and change the wound vac, start the wound vac, do this, do that. They make sure that the clinicians who need to know how these orders are implemented are trained. So they train even the residents. Okay, I'll train you how to start the wound vac or to change the wound vac dressing, etc. So there's a lot of training, not just in nursing but beyond.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. There's such a huge educational component, right? They're not only practitioners, but also nurse educators and physician educators. And that's such a big part of your role. And he's always out there educating everybody day and night, along with the rest of the WOCN team.
Thank you. Thank you for these answers and for highlighting the fact that WOCNCB certified nurses can actually impact clinicians beyond nursing. And then even between the interdisciplinary care team. So that is really a very amazing statement. I'm going to the last question now, and I'm going to direct it to Annie. You definitely achieved optimal organizational support from your organization, and that's why you're here speaking with us today. My question would be, how can other WOCNCB certified nurses best advocate for their roles to receive the same optimal organizational support that was given to you and your team?
Having a WOCNCB certified nurse in an organization ensures the delivery of WOC nursing is the most favorable and optimal. So it ensures that our patients receive the gold standard of wound, ostomy, continence nursing care. A great form of advocacy for oneself and for the WOC nursing profession, I believe, is the need to first recognize ourselves as the experts, because we provide direct care to people with ostomy, stomas, wounds, fistulas, drains, pressure injuries, and continence disorders. The WOC nurses are the whole package. Because of our special roles and our specialties, we're able to serve as an educator, nurse leader, consultant, researcher, and even administrators. Based on these roles, we have the resources as WOCNCB certified nurses to provide the statistics, the data, and the evidence to facilitate our organization's goals. For example, in reducing hospital-acquired pressure injuries prevalence and incidence rates, reducing surgical site infections, ability to provide care to patients with ostomies and continence across the entire continuum. So we do a lot of problem solving, we communicate, we collaborate with other disciplines, we provide significant contributions in value analysis, and bring innovative wound care modalities that help reduce patients' length of stay. So as WOC nurses, by keeping ourselves well-informed and by continuing to uphold the gold standard of wound, ostomy, continence nursing care, our organizations, administrators, our hospital leaders will continue to support and realize the values of a WOCN-CB certified nurse.
Very well said. Thank you for that answer. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for all the answers that you gave our panel today.
Our pleasure.
So wonderful to meet you all.
This has been a truly inspiring and informative conversation. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center Los Angeles understands certification makes a difference and is committed to the WOCNCB mission to promote the highest standards of patient care and safety. Thank you, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, for being a WOCNCB certification inspiration. To learn more about the WOCNCB Employer Recognition Award, visit our website at WOCNCB.org and select the Get Involved tab. Thank you for listening. WOCNCB sets the standard for wound, ostomy, continence, and foot care nursing certification by validating nurses' knowledge to provide safe, patient-centered care. Until next time, visit WOCNCB.org to learn more or contact WOCNCB at info@WOCNCB.org. And remember to follow us on social media. This podcast is produced by WOCNCB. Take care.